There's a buck. Still got a pretty good rack on. See if we can get a little closer. $2. $3. $3 in that herd. 2 of them rather small. One looks like maybe a 6-point. There's just a whole cluster of bucks. There's another. The buck's out the ass. Maybe a couple of those running around with them. A lot of bucks in that herd. A lot of racks still on their heads too. They got a whole herd. Here's the situation. I came out just before sunrise, and we got some more snow came in last night. Got up to the pass. The pass is completely blocked off. They got it gated off. So there was no way to get up to the top of the valley to do what I was planning on doing today, aside from hiking in. So I drove a couple miles to the south, found a place to park, and I've been hiking for about a half an hour now, trying to get up to the area where my trail cam's at so I can retrieve the cam footage, check on the boys and HB. That wasn't my plan for this morning. Weather's changing the plans a little bit. I did not intend to be having to hike all this way just to get up here and check out the trail campsite, but along the way I'm walking through another woods. It's actually part of the Emerald Forest, but this is way far south, and as I'm walking along I see this herd come up and stop, check them out, and that herd is full of bucks, most of them small bucks. So make note of that and where they were at. Might be worth bringing the trail cam down here and following that herd for a little bit, get away from the herd that we've been tracking for the past year and see something new. Whew. A lot of inclines in this area. I've been walking uphill for a minute. So yeah, just after sunrise right now, and that was my first encounter for the day. We got a long day of filming out here, and like I said, the weather has made everything today subject to change. Alright, we made it into our normal section of the forest. Looks like I got some coyote tracks here, and I got a deer standing right up ahead of me, all by itself. Let's see what we can do with that. Well, I thought she was by herself. A couple of does there, young ones. A little flighty today, and some flags up. I may need to quiet down some. So this is the southwest corner of the forest that I normally operate in as far as tracking the deer go. There's a couple of does there bedded down here in this thicket patch over here. I got a ways to go before I'm in my normal loop, my normal area. And it's been a pretty good hike getting up here. But I don't really explore this part of the forest too often, so it is a unique opportunity to come in to the woods from a different direction and see what happens this far down in the corner. A couple weeks back, whenever I was out here, I had to come into this area to try to find HB and the boys, because too many stresses off to the east was pushing them this way. So I came down here trying to find them, and we did. That was a pretty good tracking episode. I tried to give some points on tracking them down and the signs you read along the way. But coming into the woods from this completely different direction and not knowing this section as well as I do the other side of the forest is going to present a little bit of a unique challenge whenever I get up here trying to locate the trail cam by coming in from a different direction. If I was coming in my normal route, I know all of the signs, the trees. There's a couple of boulders there. There are kind of signposts along the way. Help me locate where I left the thing. Coming in from this direction, I don't have those signposts, so I'm just going to have to rely on my sense of direction until I get into an area where I can see those memorable landmarks. Just had a hawk or an owl fly over up here. They're really hard to catch on film. The hawks aren't so bad, but the owls tend to be really flighty. Had an owl land not far from the trail campsite a few weeks ago, and by the time I got the camera turned around to try to get him on film, he had already taken off. That was really disappointing. It was a beautiful barn owl. Anyway, try to refocus here and get my bearings somehow. Again, I don't know this section of forest. I do have deer trail all over the place, and I have what looks to be some human footprints, which is probably my shed hunter coming up in here, the guy that's coming up in here trying to get HB's rack before I do. Looks like he's mingled around this section of the forest. Yeah, these are old tracks. They're a couple of days old. They got snow laying in them from the last snowfall, so it's been a while since he's been up here, but somebody's been up walking through here. Beautiful day outside. It is a little bit cold this morning. I'm looking at temperatures right around 20 degrees today. I'm wearing my Ghost camo, and I got some Under Armour on that's designed to keep hunters warm while sitting still in a tree stand. Also got another hat in my backpack that has a heating pack that goes into the back of it and heats up the back of your neck and top of your head. So if I do happen to get cold out here doing this little exploratory shit, I have those as backup. The heavier trail here. Still hold tracks. Still got snow in them from this last round of snowfall. I kind of just wish I knew where the fuck I was at. I know I'm heading in somewhat the right direction, but I'd be panning off directly to the east here a little bit more. And then trying to film and navigate through the snow while you got shit like this. All these down trees in here, buried by the snow. Every once in a while my foot gets caught up on one of them. Mentioned in a previous video, there's a guy went to visit his buddy, left his buddy's house and decided to take a shortcut home, cut through the woods to get home because it was cold outside. He tripped broke his leg in 2 places. And by the time emergency services got around there and they found him, his core temperature had dropped dangerously low. He had frostbite. He was suffering from hypothermia. And he was less than a quarter of a mile away from his house. The guy couldn't do anything but lay there screaming for help. That was the saddest damn story I ever heard. My wife saw it on the news and shot it over to me on Facebook. And I felt bad for the guy that he tripped and broke his leg, but if you get into a situation like that and you don't know what to do, or you can't handle that kind of pain, and it's just got you paralyzed and laying there, man, that's some life or death shit. That's the kind of experience that should make people want to learn wilderness survival and how to protect themselves if they get into a situation like that. Like I said, I feel bad for the guy that he got himself into that situation, but man, those city guys out there trying to cut through the woods and not knowing what they're doing, not knowing how to navigate the woods after dark, even whenever you got snowfall on the ground that kind of lights everything up for you. Some people just don't have no business being out here. Guys, I gotta tell you, coming out this early in the morning, just after sunrise, after a fresh snowfall, the forest is eerily quiet this time of day in these weather conditions. If I stop and I'm not talking, I can't hear anything at all. It's just nothing but silence. Just take a moment and listen to this. Just nothing. The only thing I can hear out there is a woodpecker off in the distance. Everything else is just dead quiet. This area here, I'm not seeing any fresh footprints from coyotes or deer. I mean, everything out here looks pretty damn pristine this morning. Now, snowfall did come in last night. Got about another half an inch. And then a lot of this is real powdery, so it was just blowing around. I do have some sign of old tracks here. Those are a couple of days old. But I am finally getting into it. Oh, got a deer. Hold on, guys. Alright, I'm surrounded by deer. I got one off to the left. I got a little buck off to the right. Alright, there's our little buck. We're in HB's herd now. That's our little 4-pointer. He's been running with HB for the last few months. Well, there's HB. And he's still got his rack on him. That's good, because this much snowfall out here, we'd never be able to find it. Now, while I'm watching HB here, I'm noticing that his rack is a little bit darker than the snow. He don't have that kind of off-white rack. He has more of a darker brown rack. Looks more like the trees, which is kind of prevalent for deer that's in hardwoods and pine forest. They'll eat a lot of pine needles and things like that. Makes their meat taste a little bit different. Also tends to give them a little bit darker color than corn-fed deer or deer that you see out in plains areas. They tend to be that kind of light fawn brown. But whenever you get up here in the north, and their diet's primarily acorns, pine needles, grasses and things like that tend to be a little bit darker. So glad to see that boy's rack still on him. Sounds like I got a snowplow off in the distance. She's just echoing through the woods this morning. It's definitely getting his attention. So that little 4-point is walking up here from the right, and there's a third one out here somewhere. Oh, he's just off to the left. I don't want to move too much. Keep it right there on HB for a minute. The other's walking right up to him. So these are our 3 normal bucks. There you can see a good shot of his rack. Isn't he a beautiful deer? He's strutting a little bit now. Show off. There's all 3 of them together. Quiet down here a little bit. They might get curious enough to walk up closer. They're not too far away right now. One hiding behind the tree there, just saw his tail flag a little bit. At least they're calm this morning. And they're moving around a little bit. They're hearing me talking to you guys, but they're not flagging. They're more curious than anything right now. Very cool being able to hang out with them this morning. And they're not far away from where I left the trail cam. So we should have some footage up there on the cam. Yeah, see, she's getting a little curious. Let's just quiet down and watch him here for a second. There's my boy. I see you, buddy. Looking pretty, HB. That's the rack we're after this year, guys. That's what we'll be out here shit hunting for. Man, that rack just stands so tall and proud on top of his head. That's why we made him the official buck of the series. He's not the biggest buck. He doesn't have the biggest rack you'll ever see, but it is a beautiful, well-balanced rack. Being able to hang out with them like this is one of those things that I love most about coming out here. Now I keep thinking I'm seeing 4 bucks over there instead of just the 3. I'm more focused on what the camera's picking up than I am just looking over there and counting them, but I'm pretty sure there's 4 of them over there. I just got one that's just kind of outside of the cluster of 3. HB looking strong and healthy. Alright, he's going to give us a little bit of space. He's moving the boys a little bit further off to the east, so we're going to get up here and see if we can locate our trail cam, see what's on it. There we go, a little young buck. A little 4-point. So the boys are herding together. I got HB and the 2 bucks that normally run with him. And this guy here was just off to the side of him. Alright, so I'm going to leave them be. Just let them hang out for a while. They are just south where I had the trail cam set up this last round. Coming up on that ridge now. I gotta try to work around these guys to get up to the cam and see what we got on film up there. Oh, that was an awesome experience to start off the day. I'm glad those racks are still on them. Like I said, we are coming into shed hunting season. I already got a guy out here tracking these boys, trying to get HB's rack. And we got that little bit of competition going on between the 2 of us out here, just keeping an eye on the herd, seeing when the racks fall. It is a little early in the year for my part of the states to worry about the sheds too much. We're at the end of January now. Those boys could keep their racks on all the way into April if they wanted to. Well, not if they wanted to. Sometimes it's just how it works out. We're just coming up on the cam now. Over here the back side of it. See what we got. Looks as if it's been left alone. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Even with my gloves on, it's cold as shit out here. Okay. We're back up and running with the trail cam. Right now following some coyote tracks, trudging through the snow. We're going to go into a different section of the forest here. My truck is about 2.5 miles south of here. Like I said earlier, I had to hike up here this morning to get into this section because they got the roads closed off coming up through the valley. So there was no way to get up here instead of hiking through the snow and the cold just to make it to the trail cam. I come in from a different direction and completely got turned around there for a minute, to be honest. I had a hell of a time finding the damn cam. I had landmarks, but I couldn't find the landmarks. And come to find out, I was just so far off track from coming in from the south instead of coming in from the north that I just got switched about there for a little bit. So now, like I said, heading into a little bit different section. Actually heading back towards where I ran into that first herd this morning. Whenever I got out here, just walking directly into the wind as I'm going along, which is posing some more uncomfortable things to hit me right upside the fucking head, but that's okay. I've been out here since about 6 o'clock, 6:30 I guess. I started hiking, and it's 9 o'clock now. I haven't really stopped to rest or anything like that, and I'm starting to feel that kind of toll that it's taken on me. And I keep running into areas like this here, where I got these wide open spaces, and the wind can pick up a little bit in these areas, and it makes me a hell of a lot colder. So it's a winter hike. We did run into HB and a couple of boys. Got a fourth buck with them this time, which is interesting. Usually there's only 3 of them. Man, I'll tell you what, walking through the snow like this is a lot different than walking when there's no snow on the ground at all. It tends to hit you in the legs a little bit more, even whenever you only have a few inches like I do this round. It's something to pay attention to. Now, I stopped there for a little bit after I found the cam. I got that sight set back up, and just stopping there for a few minutes dropped my temperature down. My core temperature dropped just sitting there. And I was only at the campsite for maybe 10 minutes. Readjusted everything, tweaked a few things, and put out some new baits. And in that 10 minutes, my temperature just dropped. I went from being toasty warm because of the hike to feeling not cold, but I can feel the chill, and I can even feel the cold in my chest. So stopping just for that little bit cooled me right down, which is good, because whenever you're out hiking like this in the wintertime, you don't really want to be sweating, because you sweat, get dehydrated, and it adds to the hypothermia factor, because you get that layer of water that builds up in your clothing, starts turning to ice. I do have some portions of my gloves that are froze over, got that little crunch to them. The fabric stiff where they got moisture on them, and it just froze up right on my hands. These are pretty good gloves though, and as you can see, I'm pretty well decked out. Got my hunting boots on, and I'm pretty much wearing a shelter right now. This stuff's waterproof. It's got pretty good insulation to it, great windbreak. So as long as I move around, keep hiking, my temperature's going to go right back up, and I won't have no problems. So a little exploratory part right here, just hiking through this new section of forest, making my way back to the truck. I'm hoping that whenever I get up there, the pass is clear and we can move on to do some other things besides tending to the wildlife in the trail cam. That kind of thing, man, is getting to be too dominant as far as my chores go. It's taking a little bit more effort and a little bit more time to tend to those things. And that's my own fault, really. It doesn't really have to be as complicated as I'm making it. I'm just getting so amped up about the shed hunt that I'm really not focused on a whole lot else. And to be honest, guys, really not hell-bent on doing anything else. I really wanted to see HB and the boys today. Just, you know, checking in with them and keeping tabs on those racks, because we're not in the high part of the shed hunt yet for my area, but it's coming, and it's coming fast. And whenever it does, I just want to be ready for it. So that's why there's so much focus on that kind of thing out here right now. I got a bit of a gully here that I'm trying to bypass. Hiking is one thing, but I'm kind of paying attention to the terrain a little bit more today because of the snow, and there's a lot of ice under it, and especially whenever you get in low-lying areas, that ice tends to form up down there, and things get a little bit slick under the snow. So a little bit of caution as I'm making my way through the woods here. Still a beautiful day to be out. We got a bit of an old trail here cutting through. Just making our way, guys, just making way. Okay, I made it back up in here to this section that I first came in at early this morning when I ran into that first herd of deer. Kind of coming in at a little bit different angle here to see if we can catch up with them. But this forest, look at this. It's all damn briar patches, like all over the place. So having a little bit more difficult time navigating this area. It's pretty low lying. There's a lot of like drainage and swampy areas in here, but a lot of thicket patches, which is good for the deer, good for rabbits. It gives them plenty of protection, and you can actually use those to your own benefit too, if you need to. But they do make it a pain in the ass to navigate through the woods, especially whenever you're already contending with walking through 6-8 inches of snow, and that's not including the drifts. So it opens up a little bit. You see this open area, that there's more of the low-lying spots. There's ice underneath the snow there, and then the patches of thorn and thicket in between. That's just the way this forest happens to be laid out. Terrain's about the same kind of shit we're used to. There's a meadow right down that way, and it wasn't too far from there where that deer herd came up. So I'm just trying to sort of make my way through here and see if we can find out where they might have wandered off to this morning. But I don't know anything about that herd or how they move or where they bed or anything like that, so we might not even run into them. It's just one of those things. I'm thinking about heading down to the camp today. I don't know, I've just been weighing that out. If I go down there, I'm just gonna be going down to fix lunch and then climb back out of the valley. I thought I would just get out here and try to track some deer today, get my exercise in, and enjoy this fucking cold ass weather. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be heading down to the camp today. I might do that a little bit later. I got a lot of different things that I want to get put on film coming up next week, or maybe the week after, we're gonna go ahead and bring the bow in. We're gonna start doing some target shooting, fine-tuning compound bow, checking out all of the gear for that, get that content started up on the channel. And we're actually going to be training with that compound bow throughout the year, and that will lead into our hunting season. Have a couple of other hunts, different style of hunts that we're going to bring into the series. Of course, we'll be out squirrel hunting, maybe go on a turkey shoot, and see what else we can come up with. I am so ready for spring to get here and warmer weather. I really want to go fishing. That's been playing up in my head quite a bit. And man, I love just to be out fishing. Could get out on lakeside and maybe get some perch. Seen some ice fishing videos popping up, but we really ain't got the kind of weather conditions yet for safe ice fishing. There was a time whenever you could slide a shanty out onto Lake Erie, go about just as far as you wanted to go and didn't have to worry about a thing. But then the weather's just been wonky. It's been rather warm last few years. We don't have a lot of single-digit temperatures. A lot of times we're not even getting below freezing. I'm surprised we got a snowfall this year, because there for the longest it looked like we were just going to get dusted and that was it. Weather has just been weird as hell. And whenever I was a kid, man, in October, we had snow in October. Snow drifts up to your waist. And now you're lucky if you get enough snow to make it to the top of your boots. It's just crazy how that's all playing out. Coming up through a thicket patch here. I do have a trail cutting through it. It's just cutting down to a far south section of the woods. This is actually an area we've been in before. See those power lines? Way back when, it's been, I don't know, in the summertime, we were up in here getting blackberries. If anybody was around back then, this is that stretch of power lines. All blackberries down through here. The deer were coming up in here feeding on them. And we do have some signs of trail here, heading up in there into those grassy areas. They'll go up there and bed down, getting those thicket patches to get out of the wind. So yeah, we're now crossing over into a section that was previous in the series, I guess we could say it that way. We came up in here when I first got the trail cam, and we set it up here for a while. Did a little bit of tracking up here. Found some hellacious rubs up here, but we couldn't find the buck that was making them. We found some smaller bucks in this section, but we couldn't find a big one. So I left the trail cam out here for a couple months before we finally pulled it, moved further up north. And then what led me to go up north was back in like the second or third episode of the series. We ran into HB down on the river bottom, and God, I wanted to get him on film. Just the way his rack looked, I wanted to get him on film. So went out and got the trail cam. And it's a mid-range trail cam. It's about $80. Nothing too expensive or nothing too fancy. And we come down here to see what we could do in this section of woods first. We had spotted does up in here. I found deer skulls in this woods, and this is where the boneyard's at. I'm heading towards that boneyard area now, but I doubt I'm going to be able to see anything because the snow is just too damn deep. We're going to be cutting off right about in here. So we tried to trail cam out in this section of forest, and we did all right with it. We was getting some does, but like I said, we weren't getting no big bucks. So HB popped back up in my head, and I knew that big buck was down there at that river bottom. I just had to find him, so we went on the mission of tracking him down, and we did. And he's been character in the story ever since. Right here is a pretty good rub. I know we got bucks up in here. I ran into a whole damn herd of bucks that had clustered up in here earlier this morning, but nothing as big as HB or that second buck that's with him, his number 2. And now we got 2 others in that group up there with HB, so we got 4 running in that herd. And I probably really have to get home and look at the footage that I shot this morning to get a head count on how many that we actually got on film here this morning. Some pretty heavy trails heading through this section of forest. Not a bad deal. Kind of staying off of the trails. If we run into them, we run into them. But it'll probably be next week. We'll start releasing some of the trail cam footage that I have stocked up. Now with the trail cam footage, instead of releasing like a dozen different videos that are just short videos, I'm trying to stock up footage where I can make a 10-15 minute video of just, you know, this is what we caught over this period of time, have the dates in there. And having the dates and the metadata of the video, I can use that stream in the future. So I got timestamps, sort of. I can make notes, put my field notes right in the metadata of the trail cam videos. So we have this kind of chronological record of the trail cam footage, how the deer were behaving, what baits worked and which ones didn't. And all of the stuff that goes in with tracking whitetails and trying to get them on film, trying to get out and do the shed hunt. And then later on this year, added in the actual hunting part of the channel. Now when we get to bow season, of course you're talking about an entirely different kind of content than what we've had this first year. Things are going to focus towards the hunt, and I will have some more controversial videos up whenever it comes to the hunt. Now you're not going to go out there, you're not going to see me go out there and do that 3D archery bullshit that you see other people doing when they're out just shooting stuffed animals all the time and thinking that that's some sort of bragging right. What you will see me doing is I will be doing some target shooting and doing the fine tuning on my compound bow. Oh, here we go. I got 3 of them. Alright, I got 3 deer just came up from a briar patch there in front of me. And I actually have a fawn. Holy shit. How is that even possible? Check this out. There's a doe. And right behind her is a fawn. And it's January. Come on, move out of the way. Let me see your daughter. Get your butt out of the way. Oh, she don't want to move. She's keeping her body between me and that baby. There we go. Peekaboo. Look at that. Now that is either a runt or that little gal was born out of season. It's rare to see that this time of year. I haven't seen a doe that small this time of year. I don't think I've ever seen a doe that small this time of year. She's either a midget or she was born late last year, you know, later in the season, and maybe that's why she's so small. I bet you she's only 8 years old. That was kind of cool. They were just bedded down in this thicket patch over here as I'm walking along talking. They popped right up. I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about the bringing the bow in and hunting. Check this out. Look at this rub. That's a beast of a rub. Cold enough for the water to stop flowing, but it freezes up at the bend. So what I was saying there, whenever I bring in my compound bow and we start training with it, we're going to be training to go out and kill a deer. Now, as far as filming while hunting, that's probably not a good habit to get into because it's too distracting. You're really not paying attention to what the hell it is you're supposed to be doing, and that can cause you all kinds of problems that you don't want to have. But I was thinking I can rig up the GoPro or have the iPhone filming something like that during hunting season, and we'll see what we can get on film that way. And if I do get a kill shot on film, I'll be releasing it on YouDo Outdoors, which is a social media site I've mentioned before. That's just for hunters, where you can post that kind of content and you don't have to worry about it getting flagged or somebody trying to get you in trouble over it. You're not going to get demonetized. You're not going to get in any kind of trouble for posting a video showing a kill shot, you know what I mean? So that's something that I've been trying to sort out as far as channel development goes. We are going to be leaning more towards weapons and hunting. We went through this last year. We did a lot of tracking. We got a lot of wildlife footage. We've networked with a lot of hunters in the outdoors community. Hannah is obviously our #1 supporter and a highlight of the channel. She's an amazing hunter and outdoors woman. She gets out there and does it all. Without Hannah's support, there is no way that my channel would have grown as fast as it did. But Hannah and I have been friends for years now, before the Huntsman channel was ever even thought of. I've been talking to Hannah and Jeff about different things and working on different projects, doing different hunts, and even going down to Alabama for a hunt in their hunting camp. So yeah, like I said, the channel this next year is going to shift towards the hunt, between practicing for the hunt, making sure that your weapon is in prime condition to make a good, clean, quick kill shot. We got some different rigs that we're going to look at. We're going to look at some tech that comes in with bow hunting. There's a lot of different things about bow hunting that you just don't get with shotgun season or hunting with a rifle or any of those other sissy sticks. Bow, you have to practice. Bow, you have to have everything down to a science. So we're going to spend some time doing all of that, learning along the way. We'll have the target at the house. We'll have a target at the Bushcraft camp. We're going to do some bow fishing if we can. And yeah, there's just a lot of different things that we can do. And that's just going to change the content of the channel. We're going to be, again, coming out here doing bushcraft stuff. We're going to be coming out here camping. We're going to be doing a lot of overnighters in the future. We're going to get back into the fishing part. We're going to get out on the lake. We're going to go out to the islands on the Great Lakes, and we got us a boat that we can take out this summer and enjoy that. And then we'll be rolling right into the 2019 hunting season, where we're going to go out there and try to get us a deer. That's going to change the feel of the channel. It's going to change the type of content that I'm putting out, and it's just going to expand us a little bit further than we, did the first year. I had a lot of people come up and say, "When are we going to get to the hunt?" You guys got to remember, man, it takes a lot to establish a YouTube channel, to build your network, to get your team together, get everything flowing the way that you want it to flow. We did that this first year. We went to extremes this first year to get this channel up and running and kicking ass week after week. We put in a lot of work. Over 350 videos already up and out. A lot of social networking, a lot of teamwork behind the scenes, private messages, getting copyright permissions, all of the things that come with building a channel like this. It's all established now. It's all set up and ready to go. So now we just get out here and we have fun. If we want to come out and we want to shed hunt, we come out and shed hunt. We want to come out fishing, we come out fishing. Whenever we get to hunting season, whenever we want to come out hunting, we come out hunting. We are absolutely unlimited. Anyway, guys, I found my way back to my truck, and I'm going to wrap this up early. I think I'm going to go home and fix my wife some breakfast. Take care of her for a little bit today. So, take care, guys, and I will see y'all next week.